Thank you for having Cinemills TV here at the VELO Sports Center. And tell us your position here with VELO.
Oh yes, I am the coordinator here at the VELO Sports Center. We're located in Carson, California. We are home to US track cycling. You're welcome to come by anytime. We are open to the public. Dignity Hill Sports Park also actually is home to US Soccer, as well as the United States Tennis Association. Both organizations train out of our facility, and of course, home to the LA Galaxy. Fun fact, when the Olympics return to Los Angeles in 2028, we will be the home facility for track cycling. So looking forward to seeing everyone here.
Describe the costs of joining the VELO Sports Center.
Yeah, so if you purchase a one-year membership, which is our best rate, it's billed at $51 a month. This would include your track certification, which is required. The certification itself is actually $270. Once you are certified, you have the ability to purchase either a 1-month membership, standalone at $65, or a day pass at $25. Junior rates are actually more economical. Juniors are $45 for a single month and $20 for a day pass.
And how long has VELO been in existence, the Sports Center?
Thank you for asking. We'll actually be celebrating our 20th anniversary next year. Our aim is not only to grow track cycling on a national level, but in a local level also, with youth being, one of the most important factors in that. We want to kind of have a junior development team that can grow into possibly a future Olympic athlete.
I'm noticing behind you, we've got some Olympic torches. We have Salt Lake 2002, Atlanta 1996, and the one behind you is actually the
Lake Placid 1980.
The Lake Placid 1980, but the one that we all remember is the one that's right next to you there, Los Angeles 1984. Ronald Reagan's in office, right?
Right in there, yep. There's old Ronnie.
And there's the Reagan era Olympic torch, guys. Hector, how did you guys get this beautiful piece here?
We were fortunate enough to have it donated to us by a private collector. The torches themselves were donated, and then we kind of got this display case made up with, different little pictures and the plaques for each individual games.
Very cool. That's the real torch, guys, used in the 1984 Los Angeles Olympics. And that Gestalt logo will always be in infamy and fame because there was a lot of controversy around the Gestalt logo. This is the LA Coliseum, home of the Raiders at one point. The steepest stairs in the world, guys, if you've ever climbed those stairs there. We're at the VELO Sports Center. It doesn't get any better than this, Hector. So Hector, we've seen UFC championship belts. Tell us about this one.
Yeah, so this is a fun little item that we have here. During Masters Worlds, we actually ran a Madison race. Madison, awesome race. It's basically a team of 2 riders. They each take turns down on the sprint lane, scoring points. The rider at the top comes down. They complete an exchange. It's similar to tag team wrestling. You must complete the exchange by having one rider touch the other's hand and being swung in. So we kind of made this as a quirky item for the Madison champion that year. So they are the tag team Madison champions of the Masters World Championship.
That's awesome, man. Thank you, Hector. We want to shoot out Thailand, Sawati Kap, Sobadi Mai, Thailand. We are so thrilled that the Thai team has been through the VELO Sports Center. Tell us about that experience, Hector.
Yes, so one of many national teams that actually has trained at our facility, and I must say that these guys were so great. They were very kind, respectful, the whole bunch. As you can see, they took the time to sign a jersey. I happened to get one from the team also, which I had at home. It's funny enough, I saw it today. I didn't know that I would be doing a segment on this. They were here training for, I believe, the Asia Games in 2018. which I do believe one of the team members did medal. The coach Josiah Young was here, who also happened to be teammates, I believe, with Travis Smith, our track director.
So Hector, I notice you're in front of a Look bicycle and Karima tire combination. Now, is this the new official equipment partner of the U.S. Olympic track sprint team, and Velo, or what's the story behind this?
Yes, so actually it's both. So recently they became the new track sponsor of equipment for the sprint team, and even more recently they have partnered with the VELO Sports Center. So if you come to the VELO Sports Center, you will be riding a version of this bike on our track.
Wow, and this is this model is carbon fiber, correct?
Full carbon fiber, yes, that is correct.
So it's super light. It must be super expensive, but it looks like it's the top grade professional gear.
It absolutely is, yes. Something to note is most listeners won't know this, but these crank arms are very special in that you can adjust the length right here. It's an eccentric crank arm, which gives you the ability to move the crank length in and out, which is a very cool feature, I think, of this bicycle.
And tell us about the Karima tires. They're high performance, correct?
Yes, these are full carbon, as well as the back one, which you see there. This particular setup would be something that a sprint cyclist uses. The back right there is very aerodynamic. Same thing with the front, but with this bladed setup, it allows for easy movement up and down the track, quick movements.
And Hector, does that provide more integrity to the wheel?
It does, yes. The carbon fiber itself is a very strong, light material.
And thank you for showing it to us, and shout out to Look and Karima for being an official sponsor.
I'm Cedric Washington, and I'm here to try to inspire these kids to continue with the push to be champions in this sport.
Okay, as you can see, Miles is holding a bike. You definitely need a bike to participate in this sport. So some of the other things that you need are shoes. These are specially made for track cycling. There's cleats on the bottom. Once you put your shoes on, you engage the pedals, which are specially made to handle the cleats here. You clip your shoes in to a pedal, and you're stuck on the bike here. So you need once you get your shoes, you have to put on a cycling kit, which is your outfit that you would normally wear. Then for safety purposes, you probably wear a pair of gloves, and you definitely need a helmet. Because if you crash, and people do crash here, this will protect your head from any major damages. As you see, once the wheel is moving, the pedal is moving. Okay, so you can't stop the bike unless you put a little bit of back pressure on the pedals to slow the bike down, and eventually you'll roll to a stop. All bikes are basically built the same, with the exception of these being fixed gear bikes, and it doesn't have any gears. So this is typical, your chain stays that house the wheel. So the purpose of this is to make the bike as stiff as possible. You don't get any wobble, and it kind of protects you from going inside of the spokes, or things from going inside of the spokes to a certain degree. There is a standardization for the bike itself, for the design, the length of it, the width of the forks. However, with gears, I know the national team, this is their home facility. They're training here. They're training in huge gears. So you're talking in 120, 140 plus size inch gear. So those are huge gears. Right now, I think I have like a 91 inch gear on there right now. So this is kind of a warm up and just a standard gear that I work out in until I need to go bigger. And the purpose of that, when you do go bigger, is to be able to pick up more speed and not spin a lot and bounce on the seat.
So Cedric, you know, on the junior level in track riding, there are gear requirements,
yes.
And that's based on age, correct?
Yes, it is.
Can your students give us their gear sizes and their ages?
Absolutely.
I'm 15-16 and I run a 50-15. That's a 90-inch gear.
I'm 17 and I ride the same 50-15. I'm 11 and I run a 48-17, which is 76.
I'm 13. I run a 49-16, which is an 89.
I am 13 and I run a 49-16, which is a 82.
15-16, so I guess I'll be running the same as Louis, which is a 90.
Very cool, very cool. Now, Cedric, why are there restrictions for the junior level? Why can't they ride the adult gears? Is there a science behind that, or?
So it basically, they don't want them to hurt their legs, hurt their knees. So there's a science, and it also keeps them on an even playing field.
Okay.
So if you have, let's say, an 11-year-old who's the smallest person here right now, but he's racing an 11-year-old that's the size of these guys here, then theoretically, this person should be able to ride a bigger gear. They're taller, they're a little bit more strong, a little bit stronger than a person this size. So to keep them all on the even playing field, they ride the same gears.
Got you. So it's an equalizer, really?
Yes.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Cedric, here we are. We're in the pit. We're about to go on the Velodrome. What are you telling your young athletes at this point in time?
Well, I was talking about the dynamics of the track, the safety area, where you get on the track, the different lines of the track. So Miles being the youngest person here, and he rides here, he actually set an hour record, right? So I think he's probably got some of the best endurance here. I was talking to him about the safety aspects of the track, asking him about the apron and asking him about the black line, the blue band, and the blue lines that's on the track.
Do you use the banks to your advantage? Is that something you?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
Okay.
Because when you can use the banking in the turns to get more speed coming down. If I'm trying to plan an attack, that's a good way to do it.
Coach Cedric, you mentioned to me you have to be at minimum 9 miles per hour to maintain, or?
No, I would say probably more so 19 miles an hour.
19, wow, okay.
That's about an average. You can go slower than that, but typically what happens is people come to this track and they're used to riding other tracks. They go slower than the 19, 18 miles an hour, and they typically fall off the track right in the first turn there, which would be what we consider turn 1, next to the start-finish line. They literally slide right off.
Right.
Eli can attest to that.
Eli, did you tip?
Over here on one of the few days that he came in trying to learn how to ride, and literally was behind me and fell right off the track behind us here.
And Eli, did you break your fall, or did you just take a tumble, man?
Kind of broke it. More just slid down because how the track is and how steep it is.
And Eli, just in life, if you were to use that analogy about falling down and getting back up, does this sport give you some strength in life?
Oh yeah, it really teaches us to. It's not about the way you fall, it's the way how you're gonna get back up.
I love
that. Really
Eli.
teaches us in social relationships, and just all the encounters you meet, and whoever you meet, and every event that happens in your life. Just to what are you gonna do when it gets hard, or when life is doing good.
Right. And Eli, why do you think that this sport hasn't hit a big stride in popularity here in the United States? Is it just people don't know it's here?
Yeah, there's definitely people that don't know that it's here, and there's other people that it's just a little too difficult. It definitely takes a little time, definitely practice, lots of practice that goes into it.
Yeah, no, it's a unique sport, and we were talking to Hector, and he was saying that people have lived in this neighborhood for years and never knew this place was here. It's kind of a secret gem, and you guys are really stoked and fortunate to have a great trainer like Cedric, And
I kind of consider myself as a facilitator.
Okay.
I like training. I like bringing people here. Some of the kids were already here before me, and we may have rode together a few times. Eli, I talked to him or his dad and mom into bringing him over here. Jack, his brother, he's going up now, but he's going to learn how to ride the track. He's a national champion on the road. He just won a national championship on the road.
Congratulations, Eli.
He competed in the national championships here just, a week or so ago, only after riding the track maybe 4 or 5 times. Wow. And he did very well. He was probably a point away from winning the national champ here.
No kidding.
Louis won the national championship, so he's our new national champion at his age here at the track.
And I'm sure the sponsors are starting to knock at your doors, right?
Yeah, a couple of people.
Yeah, this is exciting, man. Mm-hmm. And this is Hector calls this a niche within a niche, mm-hmm. meaning cycling in itself is a niche, but this particular aspect of cycling is very specific. It's very specific.
One of the smallest.
Yeah.
As you look at the people that's riding around the track here, this is a certification class going on now. So they may be road riders, but they're not necessarily track riders. They have to get certified in order to be able to ride this track. So this is not something where you can just take an average person, bring them in off the street and say, go ride the track.
No.
Because of the safety issues involved here. Sliding off. As Kat said, you will fall.
Right.
Eli can attest to that because he did fall. And I'm sure everyone here at some point has fallen off their bike on this track, whether experienced or inexperienced.
Right.
So it's something that takes a lot of practice and a lot of dedication, and it will also make them all a better road rider. So when they'll have better awareness on the road, they will look before they leap, as you will, and won't cut other people off because they're so accustomed to looking in here.
Right. Miles, question for you. Have you become more situationally aware in other parts of your life from doing this sport?
Yes, definitely. Just with racing and even just riding here, you always have to know what's going on. It's a big part of it. And then biking and in general, I'm more aware.
And then, Kat, have you seen transferable skills from the sport in your personal life on how you pay attention to detail?
Definitely. Here you have to be really aware, looking behind you, to be around people, and it just helps in general life, just being more aware of your surroundings and what your actions can do to affect the rest of the world. And it can go into any aspect of life just as a principle to be cautious of your actions for how they can affect others and kind of create a catastrophe or something good.
No, absolutely. And Cedric, as a former Marine and a current LAPD officer, I noticed that you have a lot of understanding of your proximity, your environment. You can smell danger in a room when you hone in on these skills, right?
Yes.
And having a sport like this just sharpens and intensifies those skills, right?
Definitely, definitely, because it's all in perspective. You're aware here. I have to be aware at work as well because of the dangers associated with the occupation, but when you're in close proximity inside of this facility here, riding on the track, trying to cross the track, walking up on the apron, you constantly have to be aware of your surroundings because there's always someone up here on the track riding.
And Kat, it's neat to see a lot of women athletes now. We look at the iconic Kelsey Mitchells and Sarah Hammers and the thought that women are excelling in this sport. How do you feel about that, Kat?
It's awesome. It's a very male-dominated sport, and so the more you see women getting out there in the media as part of the sport, and I also coach, so the more I see young girls coming in, it just makes me so excited that girls can really take back the power in this sport and get more attention in it and really show how strong they can be. It's really amazing.
Right. And what do you do off kind of the velodrome in terms of training? Do you do some cardio, a lot of cardio stuff? Okay.
Yeah, definitely. And then road riding as well, gym, things like that.
Right. And then in terms of the lifting program, do you do is it squats, deadlifts, a lot of hip and leg workouts?
Yeah, it's definitely a battle between your quads and balancing your glutes and getting all of your lower muscle, but then also your core so you can keep stable.
Right. And, have you done specifically sprint work or?
No, I'm not as much of a sprinter. I mostly do more omnium and I quite like Madison, so I don't necessarily just try to put as much muscle on myself as you can, which most sprinters would do.
And when you do omnium, is it co-ed or is it all female?
Normally, hopefully it's all female, but a lot of times it is co-ed, especially when you're younger and you're training, just because there's not enough women. There have been races where I've just been like scored differently. It's like, congrats, you got a medal because you're the only chick. But it's really great because you end up getting better because you're used to training around people who are generally stronger than you if you're just training around guys all the time.
Yeah, it raises the bar, right?
Definitely.
So Cedric, walk us through what we're going to do now. Are we going to get on this thing?
Yes, I want them to do a demonstration. She mentioned Madison, so the two of them can do a Madison demonstration. That is a very confusing race. It could be somewhat dangerous as well because they're doing exchanges and they can demonstrate what it takes to be a Madison rider. Also, we'll get up and do a pace line. We'll ride the various lines of the track. They'll ride at the top of the track to demonstrate that you won't fall if you do what you're supposed to do, and just kind of go out and have fun.
Okay, great. And just for our audience that might not know, is a simple analogy for Madison something like tag team wrestling? Is that a mischaracterization of the sport?
It's more like passing a baton.
Baton. Okay,
Yeah,
so
you run one lap, you come meet me, we'll make a movement together, I'll pass the baton to you, and then it's your turn, and now I'm off,
And the analogy of passing a baton would be a pat. Would you pat Kat on the back?
Not pat, but more steal her momentum and then push that into my momentum. So we're pretty much transferring the speed to somebody who's moving slower. So a faster person will come in, slow themselves down to make the person who's moving slower to...
And at what point would she accelerate if you're passing the quote-unquote baton?
Well, she would accelerate coming into me.
Okay.
And then we'd match hands, and she would slow herself down with my speed, and then push me forward. And I'd push off of her and end up being the one who's moving.
So it's truly a transfer of energy.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Well, let's do the Madison, guys. Let's do it. So Jack, this is your second ride, man. You're about to go out here with Cedric. Describe what's going on through your mind. Are you nervous? Are you excited?
I'm kind of excited and nervous. I've done it before, so I know that I can do it, but it's also been 2 years, and man, that curve looks steep up there.
Yeah, it is steep. Do so you have a little velodrome rust is what we call it, right? So, but you're in good hands with Cedric. Cedric, what is your kind of refreshing advice right now?
Well, Jack, we're gonna ride around the apron. I had you ride around earlier to get used to the fixed gear bike. You realize that there's no brakes and you can't stop the bike once it starts rolling. We're gonna ride around the apron a couple of times. We're gonna pick up speed a little bit, go to the blue band, the safety band, and then we're gonna eventually work our way onto the track and do some laps around the track. We'll do the relief line, which is, we'll go up to the blue line. We may go to the top of the track, it depends. I'll be watching you as we go around, and if I feel comfortable, knowing that you're comfortable, then we'll ride the track a little bit more aggressively. If not, then we'll come back down to the black line, we'll come off, and then we'll start all over again.
Jack, if you want to pray now, this is the time, buddy.
up and do a couple of exchanges over here on the main straight. So they're gonna go up and do what, Miles?
How it works is there's one rider at the top of the track or on the relief line, and one's in the sprinters lane, and they'll do like a hand sling and to transfer their energy and momentum to each other.
It seems to be dangerous, so I'm sure there's some safety stuff you need to be aware of. What is it?
Protect your front wheel at all times, and if something's changing in front of you, go in front of the rider.
They're about to do an exchange, or did they do it? I think they're coming through for an exchange now. No. A couple more exchanges over here. But we can do a slower version. I'll have them do it, demonstrate it a little bit more in slow motion, just coming through here on the track. So they're gonna pick up speed now, and they're gonna do their exchange on this side of the track. So they're coming around now, coming through turn 4, and they're about to do an exchange in just a moment here, right now. So that's what Madison is all about. It's confusing. It's not something a first-time rider could do. I probably could do it, but I don't know that I would feel safe right away. These guys are pros at it because they train and they do this stuff. Those guys, they race and they do this all the time. Madison racing is really huge. There's a track in Detroit, an indoor track in Detroit, and that track is much shorter than this. It's like you're in a bowl. It's also steeper.
And what do you know about Detroit, Cedric?
Well, I kind of grew up there before going in the Marine Corps, and I was just there for 2 weeks, just prior to while I'm on vacation.
And Cedric, you know, in the United States, where do you think the most concentrated indoor biking is? Is it in LA or?
Well, it depends. This is the only track of its kind in the United States. The next closest track would be up in Canada. In fact, the Canadians use this as their home track for a long time. Most people come and train here. So from a professional standpoint, I think this would be the most popular track to come and train on, to go race around the world. However, there are other tracks, outdoor tracks, such as San Diego and Encino here in California. Detroit has an indoor track, but it's a 166 where this is a 250 meter. And their program out there is really popular, especially for the kids out there with the Madison racing. So this track is unique in its kind because people from all over the world come here and train.
I know where you're coming from, a long road and the money's gone. All the games where you played your part from the very start just to come this far. You should know I believe in you. Every race you run, you're my number one. Kick it up now and bring it on. This will be your day. 'Cause baby, you were born to win. Never give up, never give in. You were born to win. Your destiny is victory. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Baby, you were born to win.
I'm Cedric Washington. I hate to tell you guys, but I'm 55 years old. I'm a homicide detective with the Los Angeles Police Department, and I'm here to try to inspire these kids to continue with the push to be champions in this sport.